So the one thing that I do not agree with is the fact that some people would say that talking about Dragon Ball's plot holes is something that shouldn't be done because there are so many plot holes, and somehow talking about them cheapens Dragon Ball as a whole, where I'm more in the camp that I think talking about the plot holes is not only extremely constructive for the future of Dragon Ball, but it's extremely interesting to see what Akira Toriyama's initial design was for Dragon Ball Z, and it's just fun. So let's discuss this plot hole that was brought to my attention by another Dragon Ball content creator on Twitter, and I want to see what your thoughts are on this. Make sure to watch till the end to get the full story.
Know your place, worm. Prepare yourself. Damn Saiyan.
So first off, I want to give a big shout out to Sal The Saiyan for bringing this to my attention. So I gotta give huge props to Sal The Saiyan. He has just reached over 2,000 subscribers, so I'm gonna leave a link to his YouTube page and his Twitter in the description below and the top comment. Go ahead and check him out, see if you like his stuff. Hit that subscribe button. So he was actually responding to a tweet by SaiyanBeast on Twitter, and SaiyanBeast's tweet goes, "Just for the info, the training that Kid Goku did in the Rosat, which is the hyperbolic time chamber, was never shown or mentioned in early Dragon Ball, but Mr. Toriyama thought of that idea afterwards." And we have a clip here from the manga where Goku tells Gohan, "Go over there and you'll see why I couldn't stand to stay here for more than a month when I was little." And so Sal the Saiyan replies, "This is a really bad retcon that Goku went in there when he was young. One of the reasons he got so strong in the Saiyan arc was because of the 10 times gravity. So if he was in 10 times gravity for a month, wouldn't he have gotten used to it?" So here's my initial response to the topic behind the tweet. And I don't think that because Goku was in there for a month, he got used to the gravity. If we look at what Goku initially says, he says that he could only stay in there for about a month before he left. He never conditioned his body to get used to the gravity, so he inevitably called it quits and left the hyperbolic time chamber. Now, you would assume being in there for an entire month, he would have gotten used to it at some point, at some level, and I think that, yeah, if he was there for an entire month, he would have gotten used to it, but I think that a month was the limit that his little body could have gone through it. But him getting used to the 10 times gravity, that is the issue. Him getting used to it at any point, that is the issue coming from this plot hole. Sal the Saiyan correctly states that is one of the main reasons he became so powerful on King Kai's world. That is one of the main reasons that he was leaps and bounds in strength after Raditz, because he did the 10 times gravity training with King Kai. And of course, him learning the Kaioken was also a huge benefit for being there with his fight against the Saiyans, but initially he was far stronger than any of the Z fighters or his self from the fight from Raditz because of that 10 times training. And yes, he did finally get used to it, but when he even arrived on King Kai's planet at first, he could barely move. And you think that if he had spent a month there as a child, he would at least be able to move better. But remember guys, he also did have weighted clothing on, which he did remove, and it made it slightly easier for him to run around King Kai's world. So this plot hole throws some shade on Goku's training from very little, even from way back in Dragon Ball, because after his initial 10 times gravity training on King Kai's world, he does gravity training all the way to Namek, and he's like way stronger than the majority of the Ginyu Force by the time he arrives there. Based on that gravity training alone, he's far stronger than even Vegeta. So getting used to the 10 times gravity, 100 times gravity, or any times gravity is something that would give you a significant boost in strength. So Goku would have been far stronger in Dragon Ball after his training for a month in the hyperbolic time chamber. And if this 10 times gravity debacle doesn't get messy enough, Goku was possibly around 3 years old before he left planet Vegeta. As you guys can see, he was a very, very small baby at the beginning of Dragon Ball Minus when we first see him. And then before Frieza destroys the planet, you see that Goku's a little bit bigger, and he's even big enough to be wearing the Saiyan armor, and then that's when he gets shipped off to planet Earth. So why is this relevant? Well, planet Vegeta has 10 times gravity. That means he would have been conditioned as a small child in 10 times gravity, giving him that power boost that he initially got after King Kai's training on a 10 times gravity world. You can even see right here where King Kai even mentions that his gravity is similar to planet Vegeta's gravity. And this 10 times gravity would have offered huge boosts to Vegeta and Raditz, who were on the planet far longer. And before you say, well, they were very small and they must have forgotten it or their bodies forgot it, I have actual life experience in having learned something when I was very small around that age and still remembering it now. Quick insight in who I am. I am Hispanic, and the first language that I learned was Spanish. Then I learned English and basically have been talking English since that point. And so I still know how to speak perfect Spanish throughout my entire life up to this point. I'm 28 and I barely use it. I've gone years without even speaking it, and yet my body still remembers it. And that might be a little bit different than having your body remember 10 times gravity, but it's not that much different, at least not in my opinion. So is it a plot hole? Absolutely. But Dragon Ball is riddled with them, especially with the new Dragon Ball Super Broly movie coming out, making even more. I just think it's fun to discuss them and find in canon explanations to certain things, because it is possible that Goku's just special and he gets more of a boost from different types of training, or at least King Kai's training, than anybody else. Let me hear your explanations. This is going to be BlackScape signing off. Take care, guys.